Day number 23, AWS Security Secret Santa. We have the two videos from two creators. Task number 1, introduction. One of our stealthiest infiltrated elves managed to hop their way into CyberTodd Bain's office and I.O. and you and behold, discovered a bundle of cloud credentials just lying around on his desktop like forgotten carrots. The agent suspects these could be the key to regaining access to TBFC's cloud network. If only the poor hare had the faintest clue what the cloud is, he'd burrow in himself. Let's help the elf utilize these credentials to try to regain access to TBFC's cloud network. Learning objectives: learn the basics of AWS account, enumerating the privilege granted to an account from an attacker's perspective, and then familiarize yourself with the AWS CLI lab connection. Let's start the virtual machine. AWS account can be accessed programmatically by using the access key ID and the secret access key for this room. Both of those will be automatically configured for you. The AWS CLI will look for credentials at home credentials, where you should see something similar to the following. Yeah, we'll see after that. After the machine will load up, we'll see these. AWS Security Token Service, STS, allows us to utilize the credentials for a user that we have saved during our AWS CLI configuration. We can use the get caller identity call to retrieve information about the user we have configured for the AWS CLI. Let's run the following command: AWS STS get caller identity. We will see the following output when we run this command. All right, let's open up the split view. Setting up the cloud. Please try to run this command again. Is 30 seconds. Okay, let's see. Error of arguments. All right, so we have them. Now, what is wrong? ACS get caller. Okay, cool. Answer the question below. Run. So, what is the number shown for the account parameter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2. Okay. Task number 2, IAM, users, roles, and groups and policies. YAM overview. Amazon Web Services utilizes the identity and access management YAM service to manage users and their access to various resources, including the actions that can be performed against those resources. Therefore, it is crucial to ensure that the correct access is assigned to each user according to the requirements. Misconfiguring YAM has led to several high-profile security incidents in the past, giving attackers access to resources they were not supposed to access. Companies like Toyota, Accenture, and Verizon have been victims of such attacks in the past, often exposing customers' data or sensitive documents. Below, we will discuss the different aspects of YAM that can lead to sensitive data exposures if misconfigured. YAM users. A user represents a single identity in AWS. Each user has a set of credentials such as passwords or access keys that can be used to access resources. Furthermore, permissions can be granted at a user level, defining the level of access a user might have. YAM groups. Multiple users can be combined into a group. This can be done to ease the access management for multiple users. For example, in an organization employing hundreds of thousands of people, there might be a handful of people who need write access to a certain database. Instead of granting access to each user individually, the admin can grant access to a group and add all users who require write access to that group. When a user no longer needs access, they can be removed from the group. IAM roles. An IAM role is temporary identity that can be assumed by a user as well as by service or external accounts to get certain permissions. Think of CyberTodd Bain and how depending on the battle ahead, he might need to assume the role of an attacker or a defender. When becoming an attacker, he will get permissions to wield his shiny sword, but when assuming the role of a defender, He will instead get permissions to carry a shield to better defend king malware. EM policies access provided to any user, group, or role is controlled through EM policies. A policy is a JSON document that defines the following: when action is allowed, which is the action, on which resources is the resource, under which condition, and then from whom, which is the principal. And we can see them over here, right? This is a YAM policy. Consider the following policy. This policy grants access to AWS user alias principal, right? Principal, and then allow for the S3 object. Here is the resource for the user alias. Policy grants to the AWS user alias principal to get the object from S3 bucket action for the S3 bucket name, my private bucket resource. Answer the question below. What YAM components used to describe the permissions to be assigned to a user or a group? YAM policies. YAM policy. YAM policies. Task number 3, practical, enumerating user permissions. Enumerating users, although let's see what we can do with the credentials we got from CyberTodd's main office, since we have already configured them in our environment. All right, so YAM list users, AWS YAM lists users. We will see on output that will list all the users. We will, as well as some other useful information such as their creation date. Enumerating users policies. We see the caret bind, CyberTodd bind creation date, right? And then ARN user CyberTodd bind root for the path. Enumerating user policies. Policies can be inline or attached. Inline policies are assigned directly in the user or a group role profile, and hence will be deleted if the identity is deleted. These can be considered as hard-coded policies, as they are hard-coded in the identity definition. Attached policies, also called managed policies, can be considered reusable. An attached policy requires only one change in the policy, and every identity that policy is attached to will inherit that change automatically. Let's see what inline policies are assigned to CyberTodd bind by running the following command. All right, so you will use the clipboard a lot to run some commands. Policy name CyberTodd bind policy. Great, we can see the inline policy as a result. Maybe CyberTodd bind has some policy attached to their account. We can find out by running the following command. Let's see. Not much here. No, there is nothing. Perhaps we can check if CyberTodd bind is part of a group to see what can the group do. Let's see. Nope. Look like Sir is not part of any group. Let's go back to the inline policy we found for CyberTodd bind account. Let's see what permissions this policy grants by running the following command. Please replace policy name with the actual policy name you found. So we copy this again. Let me see. Bane, and then we copy this and we introduce it in here. Then we copy all of this and we paste it in here. Let's see. Let's collapse this. There are actions that we can do. Right, we can see the exact output as we see in TryHackMe. It looks like CyberTodd bind has access to enumerate all the different kinds of users, groups, roles, and policies, YAM entities, but that is about it. There is not a lot of help getting TBFC's access back. We might need to try something different to do. If you look carefully, you'll notice CyberTodd bind can perform the assume role action. Maybe there's still hope. Answer the question below. What is the name of the policy assigned to CyberTodd bind? CyberTodd bind policy. Task number 4, enumerating roles. The STS assume role action we previously found allows our candidate to assume roles. Perhaps we can try to see if there's any interesting one available. Let's start by listing the existing roles in the account, and we use this command, AWS EM list roles. Let's see. We see similar with this output. Role name, bucket master. Path to root again. Action, assume role again. Effect allowed. Yeah, so bucket master. Bingo, there's a role bucket master and can be assumed by S3cret. And let's find out what policies are assigned to this role. So basically we run again this one. To see what policies, bucket master policy. Then we run this one. Attach policy, nothing. Okay. Then let's see permissions. List all the buckets. Allow to all the resources. All right. I mean, this is what we want. Bucket master is pretty interesting. Well, what do we have here? We can see that bucket master role can perform 3 different actions: list all buckets, list buckets, and get object on some resources of a service named S3. This might just be the breakthrough we are looking for. More on this service later. Exactly, this is what we are looking for. Assuming role to gain privilege assigned role by the bucket master. We just need this command. Let's see. All right, the YAM role bucket master. Let's see if we use this. Actually, right, let's paste it again. Okay, cool. We see the output like in TryHackMe. Now, the output will provide us with credentials. We need to assume this role, specifically the access key, secret key, and session token. To be able to use this, the following command in the terminal run. So let's copy this key and run export AWS access key ID equals this. Export AWS secret access key equals, copy including double quotes, paste it here, command not found, export AWS secret access key equals secret access key. Okay, and then we have also the session token. Export AWS session token equals. Then we copy this, copy, and then paste it here. Good. Once we have done that, we officially use the permissions of bucket master. Now, if we call this AWS STS get caller identity, we should see bucket master role. Answer the question below. Apart from get object and list bucket, what is the other action can be taken by assuming the bucket master role? I mean, if we go over here, list bucket, get object, and list all my buckets. List all my buckets. List all my buckets, list buckets, and get object. Task number 5, grabbing a file from S3. What is S3? Before we continue, we need to know what exactly is S3. Among S3 stands for Simple Storage Service. It is an object service, storage service provided by Amazon. AWS basically, that can store any type of object such as an image, document, log, and backup file. Companies often use S3 to store data for various reasons, such as reference images for their website, documents to be shared with clients, or files used by internal services for internal process. Any object you store in S3 will be put into a bucket. You can think of a bucket as a directory where you can store files, but in the cloud. Now let's see what, okay, so with our newly granted permissions, let's see what we can do. Listing contents from a bucket. Since our profile has permissions to all list buckets, then we can use this in order to display buckets. AWS S3 API list buckets. Let's see, web file, bunny website, S3cret. There is one interesting bucket that's the reference of Easter. Let's check it out. The one with S3cret. I'll copy this into the clipboard. From here, copy it again, paste it, and let's see. There you go. What do we have in here? Let's copy the file in this directory to our local machine. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that because we have some interesting things in there. We have some interesting things in there. Cloud passwords. There you go. This is the flag that we need. Perfect.